Good morning and welcome to our Immigration Fridays. Today we've had questions about other careers that people can use to enter into the UK besides the famous care visa and the support worker visa. So I'm Bvunzawabaya and
I'm Farhana Begum.
and we're from Tulia. Tulia is an organization that gives advice and support to migrants living in the United Kingdom. We aim to educate, empower, and restore. So our Immigration Fridays are under our Educate arm, where we talk about relevant immigration information. We talk about we answer some of the questions that we have, and encourage people to find safe routes of entry into the UK. So in England, we normally work with overstayers, destitute, asylum seekers, people who are going through the system, as well as people who have got regular status and just need legal advice. But one of the things that we've seen is that sometimes people enter the UK in a way that then causes them hardship along the way. So we encourage people to enter lawfully and talk about the lawful routes to entry. And the skilled worker visa is one of the easiest ways to enter into the UK, work here, earn a living, and live here for individuals and their families. So we've had questions about different routes. So today we're talking about teaching. So we thought we would talk about more topics, but we've realized that teaching is quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot to cover.
It's a lot to cover. So perhaps, Farhana, you could just give us perhaps the background into the shortage with teachers and what areas are really short.
Sure. So with the Department for Education, they've actually called for a boost for teaching salaries. That's for starting teachers due to the shortage. They're currently struggling to actually source supply teachers. More than half the schools have said they've struggled with that, and there's actually low rates in training teachers. That's in chemistry, computing, maths, modern foreign languages, and even physics. So highly qualified teachers from abroad are being welcomed into the UK to teach to cover those shortages at the moment.
So which subjects, because I think that's really key, the subjects where there's a shortage. I recall maths
and science teachers predominantly.
Science teachers,
yeah,
and modern foreign languages. So French teachers, Spanish teachers, German teachers. So modern foreign languages and science are the ones which are really, really in demand. And to be a teacher, to teach in English schools, you can teach if you've been trained in the UK or if you've done a different degree. So some people will have done a science degree or a languages degree, and then they move on and do the postgraduate certificate in education, which then gives them the qualified teacher status. So that's one route for people who are here studying. So I think it's important to highlight perhaps that if people are here in the UK on a student visa and are doing perhaps a science degree and want to then go and work in a different in a career that's linked to the studies that they've done, business and IT, science, languages, they can top up with a postgraduate certificate in education and then go on to become a qualified teacher and get a job, isn't it? That's one route.
Yes, I just wanted to add to that, that it's important that they actually successfully complete their degree so that they can then move on to the graduate scheme.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes.
They can move on to that. And then once they do that, they'll need to have a licensed sponsor throughout their studies in order to be able to move to teaching.
So stop there. You said a licensed sponsor throughout their studies?
Yes, over the course of their studies.
Of the PGC, like the tier 4 sponsor.
Yes, the tier 4 sponsor.
Not the tier 4 sponsor. There are many sponsors, so I think it can cause confusion.
Yeah.
So there's a tier 4 sponsor, which is the university or the education provider. But then sponsor for work is a tier 2 sponsor. So there's a difference. So yeah, so if people come on a tier 4 visa, after they've qualified using their degree, they go into the graduate for 2 years where they can work for 2 years. They could work alongside doing their postgraduate certificate in education, so that at the end of 2 years, they're able to switch and then go into the skilled worker visa as a qualified teacher for 5 years. That's one route, isn't it?
That's one route,
Yeah, that's one route that's available. So that's for people who come as students or who are currently foreign students, who want to find a way to stay. Because I think most people don't want to, you get your education. People come from Africa, from Asia, from other countries, and they want to stay and use their skills here and earn a living in pounds and then possibly go back. But that's one route that you can use if you're here as a student. And then there's people who are currently teaching in their countries of origin. So people who are teaching in their countries of origin, we would advise that it's always better to get the qualified teacher status. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the international qualified teacher status, and then Farhana is going to talk a little bit about perhaps exemptions, recruitment agencies, specialist recruitment agencies for education, so that you can get a feel of how to find who's educating. So with the international qualified teacher status, it's called IQTS, and you can get more information about that. There's a lot of information on a website that's called Get Into Teaching. So getintoteaching.education.gov.uk. So I'll break it down. Get into teaching.education.gov.uk. So that is a website which has got a lot of information to help for you to find out all the requirements that you need, because there's a lot of requirements that are there, and it's important to be able to get access to all that information, because it will really help you as you practice. Could you please just type in for me the get into teaching.education.gov.uk, and that will give you a lot of information. But the IQTS is a new teaching qualification that was backed by the Department for Education, and it's equivalent to the English qualified teacher status. So it's exactly the same as the QTS, and you can get that where you live. Whatever country you're in, you can get that where you live and work without the need to visit the UK. So you can get the IQTS, which gives you the qualified teacher status for the UK. And there's some courses which are starting in September 2022. You train over the course of 1 academic year, and you learn via remote technology and at a school in your region. So you get your experience and then you train remotely. So COVID really helped us, because this is a new introduction, and we can learn remote. So that's really powerful. And you can gain a professional teaching qualification which is recognized. So that's really good. I'm just going to go through some of the reasons why to do the QTS. You gain the skills, the experience, and the knowledge to become an excellent teacher with an internationally transferable qualification, which is backed by the UK government. So UK is very famous for its education. We have so many foreign students in this country. It's an education system which is highly esteemed all over the world. And so when you get a QTS, which is of UK standard, it doesn't just make you marketable for England, it makes you marketable for other countries as well, across the whole world. So it's a valuable qualification that you have, and you are eligible to apply from wherever. I'll just go through the eligibility criteria. You train to teach where you live and you work. You meet the same standards that are set for QTS and open doors at international schools and other employers around the world. And once you've got that, you're qualified to teach in England and other schools all over the world. So IQTS is a teaching qualification designed for UK and non-UK citizens living outside the UK. And it's for people who have no previous teaching qualifications or experience and would like to gain that professional teaching experience. They've got some experience in teaching, but they want to gain the QTS. They're already a teacher and they want to develop professionally and enhance their global employability with an internationally recognized qualification. And they're already a teacher and they want to be able to gain the qualification to teach in the UK. So it covers a wide range of people, which is fantastic, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
Because there are some people who've contacted us and said, I don't want to be a carer, I don't want to be a support worker, that's all I'm hearing, I don't want to do the Red Cross, how can I come to England? So you can do this qualified IQTS, which gives you the standing of a qualified teacher in the UK. And so let me go on again to your eligibility. So we've said who it's for, how it's done, where it's done. You need to have a bachelor's degree from a UK or non-UK university. So you need to have a bachelor's degree. Maths qualification up to O-level grade C, excellent written and English skills. So IELTS at a grade 6.5, and O-level pass in English and maths, and then a bachelor's degree as well. And your education needs to have been completed in English. So a degree studied in English. So English is it's a big requirement for this because the course is taught in English. So you need to have had your degree being taught in English, but also do the IELTS. The fees. I think everyone wants to know about money. So if you go on to the getintoteaching.education.gov.uk, you'll be able to find the different providers who are able to who teach this, and the fees vary. So there's quite a number of providers, and you can find out more information from them about the different and varying costs of that. And so the application forms, you'll find them on that website, getintoteaching.education.gov.uk, and you can get that. We do have a partner who works with us who can help people to apply for a fee, because sometimes it's difficult to navigate these websites. It's difficult to get this information. We don't have time to be able to do it for you for free. We wish we could, but there's no time for free. There's nothing that's for free in this world. There isn't, is there? Even for us to do this presentation, we've had to read, we've had to spend hours. So the information we're giving you is free. But obviously, if you would like to get help in filling out the forms, getting a place, that's something that can be done by some of our partners who we work with, who can do that. And because some people find that a bother, like going through the website and everything, which is understandable. And, if ever you want a service, there's a service that's available to be provided. So it's not a guarantee that we're going to get you a job or our partners are going to get you a job in teaching. No, it's to help you. So what you're being charged for is the time spent, the time, the skill, the knowledge, the navigating on a website, the data, and especially the time, because time is the most valuable, absolutely valuable commodity that you can have. So definitely, if you need that help or that information, you can contact us at our website, which is there, www.tulia.org.uk, or you can email info@tulia.org.uk. Email info@tulia.org.uk to get more information about the IQTS. So I talk a lot, and I'm going to pass on to Farhana, but I'm just going to say, whenever you're planning to do something, to do a move, give yourselves time to research, to do the preliminary, to finish whatever qualifications you need. If you give yourself a year, 2 years, you know that you've got your game plan, you've got your exit strategy, and you know what you're doing. So you then have a plan and you work with it. It's not a microwave thing. It's not something that just comes like this. It takes time. So teaching, like you said, it's a great opportunity. There's people who are exempted, I think, who are teachers. So I'm going to pass over to Farhana to just talk about those.
Okay, so there are some international teachers who can be exempt from the QTS, and that's purely because in some schools the QTS is not a legal requirement. So you can be employed as a teacher without the QTS in some academy, free, private, and even independent schools. In many state schools, however, the teachers do have to have a QTS, even though it's not a legal requirement. This is because what they do is they use it to assess the quality of the candidates and for the teaching jobs. Some schools even require teachers to complete a early career teacher 2-year induction period. So that's where you'll be working and you'll be assessed as a paid teacher in a school. So in some circumstances, it just depends on your experience. You can also be exempt from some or all areas of the ECT induction.
Brilliant. That's great. So there's some exemptions there. And, I said there's nothing for free, but there are some things for free. So there's some one-to-one support, isn't it, for people who want to talk to an advisor that's offered, because England is trying to recruit teachers, so they need them. So they want to encourage you to apply.
Yeah, so if you are interested in teaching maths, physics, or modern foreign languages, and you do have a QTS, you can sign up to the Get an Advisor service, which is available on the government website. So that's where you'll be getting personalised support from a trained Department for Education advisor, and that will help you to apply for jobs in England.
Yeah, and it says as well that when you talk to an advisor, so you get that one-to-one support that Farhana's talked about if you already have the qualified teacher status. So if you do the IQTS, you then get a personal advisor from the government who will. But for people teaching in chemistry, computers, maths, foreign modern languages, and physics, and you can then get help with writing your personal statement, preparing for your interviews, improving your subject knowledge, and most importantly, finding teaching vacancies. That's really positive. I think it's really a good opportunity. I think it's amazing. I think it's a great opportunity for people who are in teaching and people who are not in teaching. It's people who are not in teaching. So that's an amazing. And I just want to share, I always tell stories. I'm a person who likes telling stories every time. I always like telling stories. And my husband did a maths and physics in Zimbabwe at UZ. That's where he qualified with a bachelor's in maths and physics. And when he came here, he did the postgraduate certificate in education, became a qualified teacher, and was able to teach in a school for about 5 years before he left that career. But your qualifications from wherever, from Zimbabwe, from Zambia, your bachelor's degrees in science, from NAST, whichever university you're at, taught in English, you can get those verified by UK NARIC. It's called UK ECTIS now, UK NARIC, and they can then validate your degree and transcript and then you can use that to to apply as your starting place. So UK NARIC, you get that regardless of where your degree is from. If you go that, they'll assess it and then they'll equate it to a UK bachelor's degree. Then you can enroll in the IQTS and find and get the support that's available. There's a lot of support. So for us, we don't have the funding to be able to guide people through the process, but the organization on the getintoteaching.education.gov.uk, all that information is there. You can get a personal advisor. Even if you're a qualified teacher, you don't yet have the QTS, but you've got lots of experience in maths and any of these shortage subjects, you can then get advice from them so that they can help you to be able to find vacancies and find the jobs in the UK. You've been educated here, Farhana, in the education system. And what would you say from your experience is the experience of, did you have any foreign teachers?
We did have quite a few foreign teachers, to be honest with you, that were teaching law. So they did come from different backgrounds.
What about high school?
And high school, I noticed there weren't as much foreign teachers in my school. From my experience, there wasn't as many. But there's some. It's working in a foreign country is an experience. I think it's a transition, like we've said. It's difficult at the start, but you get there in the end. The classroom management, the behavior of the students might not be so great, but I think there's so many skills which are valuable and needed, and it's important for children to see teachers who are the same as them, to have teachers who are similar to them, similar color, background, names, just to see another teacher with the same name as you or similar names. It can make children feel included, feel part of it. It can actually help to mentor young BME children. So the more teachers that we get from Black and ethnic minority groups who are coming from different countries all over the world makes a difference, because England is so diverse. There's so many children from all over the world, and it's important to have teachers as well from all over the world. So if you're a teacher, if you're interested in teaching, if you want more information about it, check out the websites that we've put on there. Check out teachingvacancies.service.gov.uk, where you can actually get more information which will help you and start your journey for your new journey in your life. And also, maybe if you're thinking of which degree to do, those are some career options that even people who are making decisions about higher education, you can start to think about, where is the shortage, where are the skills needed, where can I fit in and be guaranteed a job, rather than just doing a degree that maybe you're not going to be able to get a job. But, with teaching, you're always going to have a job. Anything else that you want to add or think would be helpful? So I just wanted to add that if you are applying as a skilled worker, it's important to have some sort of relevant teaching skills and experience to demonstrate to an employer. So different schools might have different sort of requirements in terms of the level of experience they expect you to have. So it's important to do that research. Make sure that you've passed criminal and professional safeguarding checks that your employer will most likely do. And if you do have a job offer from a school, it is important that you check that it is a licensed Home Office employer sponsor, because some schools might not be eligible to employ migrants from overseas. It's important that you are able to speak, read, write, and understand English, of course, because you'll be teaching students in English, and the salary requirements must meet a skilled worker visa. You'll often also find that some Home Office licensed employer sponsors aren't actually the schools. It can be local authorities, isn't it, Rumbi? That can be the sponsors. So it's important to check with the school and also on the register of sponsors. So always do your research and refer back to the register of licensed sponsors.
Yeah, it's usually the school, I think.
Yeah.
And sometimes the local authority helps them, but it's I think it's the individual schools.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's good. Thank you. So that's a really good summary. I hope that's been useful. We had wanted to talk about pharmacists, accountancies. We were very ambitious. Thought we could talk about all the different careers, but it's a lot of information and a lot of, I think it will all get muddled up. So we just stuck to teachers. But it's similar procedures for each and every profession. And if people want like coaching or want particular advice for a particular career, reach out to us, info.tulia.org.uk, and then we can try and help you or signpost you to one of our partners or give you the information that you require. And we are unable, unfortunately, to provide that for free. We do provide a lot of services for free as migrant family support. That was our old name, but we're now Tulia. We provide legal advice for people who are destitute, who are struggling, mainly victims of domestic violence, homeless people, young people who are homeless. We provide free advice for them. We've been providing free advice for Ukrainian people as well. And so we provide advice for certain groups of people, which is free. We also have fee-paying clients who then subsidize the advice that we give for free. So when you instruct us, you're actually supporting somebody else who's in a worse off situation, who needs our help. We also we take referrals from other agencies. So we know that there's some people who may not have status, but they have means, they have ways to pay. So we have to be strict in taking referrals from other organizations, checking people's income, checking whether they can afford to pay or not. So we fill in a gap where legal aid doesn't cover, and we support people in that respect. We also provide accommodation for people who are destitute on a short-term basis before we can plug them into mainstream services. We also provide well-being support, training, prayer support, and we also provide counseling through our partners. So we provide a holistic service where we look at the person as an individual and we help them mind, body, soul, and spirit, and we support them right through the process. So please check out our website to see some of the work that we do. We provide training for organizations, training for community organizations, churches, community groups. We provide training that's tailored to your group, and also we provide training for corporates. So that's a summary of the work that we do, which is a lot. Every time we think, oh, that's a full lot. But that's what we do, and that's what we enjoy doing. So thank you very much for watching. I know this is pre-recorded, not live, but yeah, thanks for joining us. I have to stop saying but thank you anyway. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.
Have a nice weekend, everyone.
And thank you for joining me, Farhana. So soon Farhana will be doing these on her own. Yes. Yeah. So we're just joining in together. But thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Please please share this video. Please send it to anyone who you think will benefit, who wants to get into teaching in England. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend.